You're right there, guys. How are you doing? It's Speed here, and how have I been doing this for 5 years already now? Number 25, Mega Man 11. Kicking off the list with my favourite game and my favourite series of Mega Man, in my opinion, Mega Man 11 has the best selection of levels, boss fights, robot masters, weapons, and music in the series. I also really love the main gimmick of the game, the double gear system. The speed gear was fun to use to help the game's trickier parts, and the power gear was fun to use because the special weapons on that nuked everything. I mean, look at the chain blast, it becomes a full-on... a short but very sweet game. Number 24, Celeste. I'm generally not a fan of really hard games, however Celeste handled it really well, as any death will just send you back to the start of that room. As such, in my first playthrough, it always felt really satisfying to make it through a section, and this difficulty tied into the narrative really well as well. The whole story deals with anxiety and depression, and to me the hard difficulty symbolised that even though it's a tough fight to get through, it's worth it in the end, and for that, I really appreciate this game. Number 23, Bug Fables. An indie game inspired by a game you'll see later on down the list? Hell yeah, I'm interested. I really enjoyed controlling these 3 bugs, from using their abilities in the overworld, to timing button presses in battles to deal more damage. It made the whole game really enjoyable, both during the main game and post-game. Definitely one of my favourite RPGs available on the Switch. Number 22, Crash Bandicoot 4. 3D platformers are my favourite genre of games, and Crash Bandicoot 4 is the first of the bunch. I loved having multiple characters to play as, and the levels took full advantage of each character's abilities, and in Crash's case as well, the new Quantum Mass. These made the levels a lot of fun to play through. Never going for 100% though, bloody hell they went overboard. Other than that though, it's an insanely great 3D platformer. Number 21, Kirby Triple Deluxe. Kirby had a bit of a renaissance in the 2010s with Adventure Wii, Triple Deluxe, and Planet Robobot. Triple Deluxe is my favourite of the 3. My favourite part of Kirby games is using the copy abilities to solve puzzles and brutally kill enemies in the levels. And I think Triple Deluxe's levels nailed that the best. However, my favourite part of this game has to be the soundtrack. This is my favourite soundtrack in gaming. The amount of songs I love in this game is ridiculous. This is easily one of the best games on the 3DS. Number 20, Sonic Generations. Sonic Generations is a game of 2 halves, classic and modern Sonic. And both the classic and modern stages are a blast because of their set pieces and alternate routes galore. I think the modern half has to be my favourite however, because the 3D platforming here was absolute bliss, and the boss fights modern Sonic has, Perfect Chaos especially, are some of my favourite fights I've ever fought. I would love to see this get ported to Switch without giving people goddamn seizures. Number 19, Mega Man X4. Even though my favourite series of Mega Man that I've played is the classic series, my favourite Mega Man game overall has to be X4. Both X and Zero were an absolute blast to control. X plays pretty much how he did in the previous games with some of the best armor upgrades, which is all he needed to be. And Zero turned the game into a full-on hack and slash. Both of them were a lot of fun to play as through the best selection of levels and bosses in the series. Number 18, Among Us. There are some games on here that are on here purely for the memories I made. During the lockdowns, Among Us was a great time. For the most part, it was really enjoyable trying to work out who the imposter was. I say for the most part because every other time it'd be you the imposter, and it was a lot of fun being a serial killer. And when you're in a VC with your mates, it can get quite chaotic. Bro, I saw that J-Man. It's J-Man.
Oh, I literally watched Speed walk in.
That is.
I saw J-Man do. I just saw J-Man do the kill.
Was watching Speed follow zombies by the doorway because I knew Speed was following zombies because I saw Speed and zombies earlier. And now suddenly, zombies is dead.
Because you killed him.
I'm gonna believe the other British man.
Thank you, Virus. This game may be dead, but I'll always have the memories. Number 17, Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout. Another game that went viral during the lockdown. Online multiplayer are some of my favourite games out there because of the memories you can make, like I said, in Among Us. And this was definitely one of my favourites. There's lots of fun rounds to play here, with my favourites usually being the racing ones. And given how each game can have up to 60 people, those few times where you do come out the other side on top, it's one of the most satisfying feelings I've ever had with a game. Number 16, Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door. Out of all the Mario spin-offs, I'd have to say the RPGs are my favourite. There was a time where I was practically addicted to them. Thousand Year Door was one of them. I really enjoyed how each chapter felt different. One chapter you'd be controlling an army of thugs, the next you'd become a wrestling champion whilst uncovering a conspiracy, and the next you have no life. Why does that sound familiar? Like Bug Fables, I also really enjoyed timing button presses to deal more damage, and it has some of my favourite bosses in the series as well. Number 15, Spark the Electro Jester 3. Something I learned in the last year is that I love high-speed platformers. Yeah, speed isn't in my name for the fun of it. This was the game that ultimately made me realise that every aspect of Spark was a total blast to control, and the levels took full advantage of what he was capable of. I also loved how open these levels felt, which made them very replayable. This game was an absolute blast to 100%, and then the mad lad like Peppered added in every stage of Spark 2 as well. That made the game an absolute steal. Number 14, Super Mario Galaxy. The Nintendo Wii really was a special console, and out of the 3 games I got at launch, Super Mario Galaxy was easily my favourite. The The galaxies were, for the most part, a ton of fun to play through. I think one of the best parts of this game has to be its atmosphere. They really nailed the feeling of being in space. And the soundtrack is one of my favourites of all time, top 5 easily. However, this isn't my favourite Wii game. I think it's pretty obvious what it is now. Number 13, Super Mario Galaxy 2. To be honest, there isn't much more I can say about this game that I didn't say about the original. I just prefer the galaxies in this game, and the addition of Yoshi is one I absolutely love. I honestly wish it was in more galaxies. Why the hell was this game not in Super Mario 3D All-Stars? Number 12, Mario and Luigi Dream Team Bros. I mean, they dropped one hell of a bomb on me back in 2013, and I'm still feeling the shockwaves. Whilst this game may have long since lost its crown, very few games I've loved as much as this. The main highlight of this game is the Dream World. The real world is basically the same as previous games, which is perfectly fine as it was. I do think it's handled the best here. But the Dream World was my favourite of the two halves, as it's fun as hell to use all the Luigi nodes to do all kinds of crazy shit. I really hope the Mario and Luigi series can make a comeback one day. Number 11, Cuphead. Out of every game I've played, Cuphead has easily got the best lineup of boss fights in the series. Out of the 31 bosses, there's only a handful I don't like, and the best of the bunch are some of my favourites in any game, including the Phantom Express, Captain Brinybeard, the Moonshine Mob, and both of the final bosses. And because of the different weapons and charms you can experiment with, it made the boss fights very replayable as well. Number 10, Persona 5 Royal. Persona 5 Royal is far from perfect. I wasn't a fan of the gameplay in the real world, for example. Unlocking the true ending behind an optional complete is one decision I just can't wrap my head around. But what this game got right, it really got it fucking right. The gameplay in the metaverse was a total blast. All of the passes were really enjoyable to get through. The combat was a lot of fun because of all the options you had. And gaining and strengthening your personas felt really rewarding. I also loved the story and the characters, the latter especially with their confidence. It was really fun to learn about them. Like I said, this game wasn't perfect, but it really was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Number 9, Paper Mario. I was actually really struggling to pick my favourite RPG between this and Persona 5 Royal, but I think this game is more consistent. I know Thousand Year Door did improve a lot from this game, but I personally prefer the original because I preferred its faster pace, the chapters were more enjoyable, and the freaking speedy spin badge. I really enjoyed controlling Mario in the overworld using this, and I really enjoyed controlling him here in the battles as well. It is a simplistic battle system, but I actually think that was to this game's favour here. I remember getting this game on the eShop in 2016. Best £9 I spent that year. Number 8, Sonic Mania. Another reason I love high-speed platformers. Sonic Mania is by far my favourite Sonic game. All 5 of the characters control like a dream, as they nailed the physics in this game. Now, I can't say this 100% for Sonic CD since I've never played it, but all of the zones from Sonic 1, 2, and 3 and K were improved on from their originals. But the best part of this game was the new levels. These are some of my favourite levels in gaming, Press Garden especially. The characters are all fun to play as, and the level designs are top-notch and wide open. Gotta love it! Number 7, Super Mario Odyssey. And here's the Mario game responsible for Dream Team Bros losing its crown. Mario is an absolute joy to control in this game. He feels so lightweight and fluid, and it always felt satisfying using his abilities to get to places. I also love the capture mechanic as well. Questionable aspects about that aside, the kingdoms took full advantage of them in their level designs, and given how wide open these kingdoms are, it was a lot of fun to explore every nook and cranny of them. For a while this was my favourite Mario game, but then my streaming showed that there was actually one better. Number 6, Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. It only took me about 20 minutes to realise I was gonna love this game. This is the best hack and slash game I've ever played. It never stopped being satisfying, slashing through loads of enemies and landing powerful hits on the larger enemies, thanks to how each of the 29 characters had a different playstyle, and all the different adventure modes to play through. All of that gave me over 300 hours of enjoyment. Number 5, Animal Crossing New Horizons. I brought up earlier how Fall Guys and Among Us were a huge help during the lockdown. New Horizons was the biggest help throughout it. I really enjoyed experiencing all of the different seasons in real time, filling up the encyclopedia, making sure all of my villagers were rabbits, and designing holiday homes for them in one of the best DLC packages I've seen. Yeah, the game may be as dead as my YouTube channel at this point, but very few other games can say they gave me several hundred hours of enjoyment. Number 4, Freedom Planet 2. Jesus Christ, this game took forever. I've been hyped as hell for this game ever since I first played Freedom Planet back in 2017. All of the 4 playable lasses were a blast to play as through levels that were a blast to play through, with bosses that were a blast to fight, all with songs that were a blast to listen to. Everything I could ever want in a platformer is here, and that's why it's my favourite platformer and my favourite indie game. Number 3, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I said earlier that online multiplayers are some of my favourite games. All of my top 3 are online multiplayers. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is an absolute blast to stream, and some of my best memories in gaming are thanks to this game. Oh, thank you! I got oh, you absolute sod! You absolute sod!
What the hell were you two doing?
He absolutely trapped me!
Wait, yeah, no!
Yes!
My god, that screams.
With a total of 72 tracks at the time I'm recording this, and it will eventually be 96, most of which are a blast to race on, and with the most recent update allowing you to remove coins, removing the main issue I had, this is one game I'm going to be playing the heck out of down the line. Number 2, Splatoon 3. About time we got to this series. I've never been more excited for a game than this, and it didn't disappoint. The turf wars and the rank modes are still a lot of fun to play with your mates, and the single player campaign did a much better job showing off the weapons in this game, and it has the best finale in the series. However, the best part of this game in my opinion has to be the improvements to Salmon Run. The new ways of now being able to throw the golden eggs made it easily my favourite mode in the game. I actually think more than half of my playtime on this game is on this mode. This is a game that's going to dominate my playtime for the next couple of years for me.
Just finish it off, finish it off. Finish it off!
Y'all got this. Y'all got this.
Oh, that was way too close!
Yeah, y'all got this.
Crap!
We all died and we got him.
We all died and it
what?
out.
That's what I
Come on!
No way.
Number 1, Splatoon 2. Yeah, no fucking surprise here. I don't think I'll ever play another game that's changed my life so much. It's thanks to this game I met most of my best mates on the site. But even then, the game on its own would still be worthy of the number 1 spot. The single player was an absolute blast to 1000%, and all of the multiplayer modes were an absolute blast with your friends, especially on those shifty stations. I fucking love those maps. I don't normally like saying something will always be my favourite, but it's gonna take something unbelievably special to top this. Thanks for watching the video, guys, and here's this list being outdated in like 2 weeks because I've been in Steve Brick. I'll see you later.